This is Daily Armenia, ＳիվիլNeթ's daily news digest. Here's what you need to know today. In the run-up to tomorrow's Armenia-EU-U.S. summit, the United States' top diplomat warned Azerbaijan's president against further increasing tensions on the border with Armenia. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken underscored that there is no justification for increased tension on the border and cautioned that aggressive actions and rhetoric from any side would undermine prospects for peace in a phone call with Ilham Aliyev yesterday. This comes after Azerbaijan repeatedly condemned the summit as escalatory, going so far as to claim that Washington and Brussels will share responsibility for any outbreak of hostilities. The United States has rejected those allegations and insisted the meeting will be focused on economic and humanitarian issues. To that end, France's ambassador to Armenia added in an interview with Armenian public television yesterday that the purpose of this meeting is to provide concrete support to Armenia and to combine the efforts of the European Union and the United States in this matter, as well as to remind of the decisions that were made when Armenia faced the flow of forcibly displaced refugees from Nagorno-Karabakh, and that the challenges of accepting refugees are still significant for the country. In related news, addressing the Armenian parliament today, the EU's ambassador said the bloc is considering providing Armenia with substantial non-lethal support under the European Peace Facility, a funding instrument that provides military aid to non-member countries. Lawmaker Armenian, who heads Parliament's European Affairs Committee, confirmed today Yerevan had formally applied to Brussels to join the program. Meanwhile, a Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said yesterday the upcoming Armenia-EU-U.S. summit has an anti-Russian orientation and accused the West of making empty promises to Armenia that it cannot or will not fulfill. Russia has again called for all sides to show restraint as tensions between Armenia and Azerbaijan continue to escalate, and has also insisted it continues to consider Armenia a full member of a Kremlin-led military alliance. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova told reporters yesterday that all territorial disputes and claims between Baku and Yerevan must be resolved by political and diplomatic methods, and called for a return to Russian-mediated talks. When asked about Armenia's move earlier this year to freeze its participation in the CSTO, Zakharova insisted that Armenia remains a full member of the organization and bound by its obligations, but warned of possible consequences for violating those obligations, including expulsion. In related news, Yerevan expects the CSTO to confirm that Azerbaijan is occupying Armenia's sovereign territories. That is according to Deputy Foreign Minister Vahan Kostanyan, who made the remarks today in response to a statement earlier this week from the CSTO, saying that the alliance considers its area of responsibility to include all territories within Armenia's established state borders, while failing to note that large sections of Armenia's borders remain undelimited, meaning legally undefined. Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan had earlier called on the bloc to clarify how it sees its area of responsibility in Armenia and threatened to pull his country out of the alliance if his concerns were not addressed. In other Russia news, the country's embassies in Armenia and Azerbaijan have each issued statements to mark the anniversary of Russia's establishment of diplomatic relations with those countries. In a press release on Facebook yesterday, the Russian embassy in Yerevan referenced difficulties and contradictions in communications between the two countries, but added that it is confident this will be corrected with a return to Allied normality. It also noted the Russian military base in the city of Gyumri and the deployment of Russian border guards continue to be an invaluable factor in ensuring stability in Armenia and the region. There has been talk in Armenia about removing both. Meanwhile, a statement from Russia's diplomatic mission in Baku referred to Azerbaijan as an important strategic partner, a good neighbor, and a reliable ally of Russia. Israeli police and settlers clashed again yesterday with Armenian activists in Jerusalem who are holding a multi-month sit-in to prevent the loss of land in the city's Armenian quarter leased away by the Armenian Patriarchate. According to the activists, police assaulted bishops, priests, and community members in an attempt to evict them from an area of the quarter known as the Cow's Garden, which was initially leased to a real estate developer in a deal that was later canceled. A statement from the Patriarchate said the police attempted an unlawful eviction, destroying property and physically removing priests and community members from the site, despite lacking permits or a court ruling to do so. We will continue to stand our ground, the Patriarchate added. Lawsuits on behalf of the Patriarchate and the Armenian community are currently pending, which give the activists the right to continue their sit-in on the land for the duration of the cases. The demonstrators have been met with violence and intimidation on multiple occasions in apparent attempts to dislodge them from the site. Despite yesterday's assault, as of today, the Armenian activists maintain their presence on the property and have vowed to continue their struggle by all legal means. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 3.6. That's the total percentage of area within Yerevan city limits that is considered public green space. In related news, Mayor Tigran Avinian told protesters yesterday that the city's mass felling of trees downtown will be suspended until environmental studies are carried out. In recent weeks, trees lining some of Yerevan's major streets were cut down and replaced with saplings, prompting public outcry. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.